Hey, let's talk some soccer. So I've seen this like story going around where people are like, how come all these players from the U.S. national team have declined to come to the January camp for these two friendlies against Turkey and Switzerland, I think, and then they're also passing up on playing in the Gold Cup. Let's talk about it. So obviously the biggest one is Christian Pulisic, who said he needs to take the summer for rest. But we're also missing Weston McKennie. I think Timothy Weah. George is his dad, who's an amazing soccer player. Who Anthony Robinson may be injured. Serginho Dest may be injured. The injuries, what are you going to do? It's soccer, and anyone that's been following soccer for the past 10 years knows that these guys their workload is crazy, and they play way too many damn games, and they need to, if it's all about money, then sure, let's make the rosters 40 people deep, and, Man City can buy the 40 best players in the world, and every single week they can put a different 11 that's world class, whatever. If that's what they want to do it. But as long as we have these like 22-man, 30 rosters, and they're having to play their league games, domestic cups, European cups, friendlies, Nations League, World Cup qualifiers, and then come the summer, now we have the Gold Cup, I think there's, for people that are like, oh, you have to represent at any opportunity, and, Ronaldo would never miss a game with Portugal, and Messi would never miss a game for Argentina. Yeah, I get that. But I also can empathize with these players. Would I prefer that Christian Pulisic play in the Gold Cup and lift the trophy? Yeah, but without even looking it up, I'm pretty sure he already has. And I'm pretty sure that we've won a Nations League with these guys. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that he's already delivered us Gold Cups and Nation Leagues, and we've already won cool friendlies against good competition. I will concede, Copa America, we looked horrible. We got whooped. We missed a World Cup, and I think in 2018 didn't even qualify. We had a kind of an unremarkable showing in the last World Cup, and next summer is the World Cup in the U.S. So it's like, all right, when are you gonna have another chance to go through a tournament setting in America where you're about to play the World Cup this close to the World Cup? Yeah, it would be great to practice and get those reps in and help Pochettino figure out his team. But at the same time, we're in a different time. Like when the old U.S. soccer players are saying, I would have never missed a game. I would have to really look it up, but I'm pretty sure when the guys that were playing in the 90s and the 2000s were in the national team, I don't know if they're playing the same amount of games as these modern soccer players are, right? So, yeah, maybe they do need a break. And maybe it's a mental break. Like, maybe you could play more games in the MLS and not need a break because there's not as much pressure. But maybe playing week in and week out in Europe, whether it's England or, Italy or Germany or Spain, maybe you do feel like you need a break. There's a lot going on. And I don't knock them. I think that although we would all agree probably that we would prefer Christian Pulisic and all of the big guys from Europe played in this Gold Cup, I think instead of us, wagging the finger and saying, how dare you because Messi and Ronaldo didn't do it. First of all, Messi and Ronaldo, you can't compare them to anyone, all right? These guys, when they retire, we're going to be like, damn, there's no other players like them. But how about we just say, okay, guys, if you need the break, you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't be asking for a break if you didn't need it, right? And they're not asking for a break and not playing in the World Cup, right? They're not taking a break and missing World Cup qualifiers. They're taking a break for two friendlies and a Gold Cup. And as much as we should see the Gold Cup as this big competition for our region where it's like who's the best in Concacaf, like internationally it's not that big of an accolade. It's not that big of a trophy. I wish it would be, but it's the same reason why I think our boys struggle in the World Cup in general, because our qualifying, we're just not playing the same level of competition in those 4 years that we can expect to play when we get to the World Cup. So, yeah, having a tournament against the Concacaf teams and some teams that we invite from other regions, it's all good, but is it so important that we could risk injuries for these guys who already had rough seasons in Europe? When do they get that mental break? And when and assuming that maybe next year they do have injuries or we do need reinforcements, when is Pochettino supposed to audition other guys that aren't these players, right? So if we already know if Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Timothy Weah, I don't know, Gio, if these guys are all going to play if they're healthy next year, maybe we do want a tournament where we put in some MLS, USL guys or something, and college guys, and just see how they do. Because I'll tell you what, I would rather lose all these games by giving some young guys a shot and someone surprises us, like Jack McGlynn. What if every game he gives us one of those goals like he did against Turkey? Yeah, I want to see him out there. I want to see more Diego Luna. Let's see all these young guys, see how they do, and then if any of them kind of consistently show that, hey, when we're putting out this MLS, mostly MLS squad, these two or three guys, they always show up and they always ball, then maybe they make the bench for the World Cup next year. Or maybe when you bring them into camp, you're like, man, these guys are actually better than some of our European guys, whatever it is. But use the Gold Cup to audition these guys that otherwise wouldn't have a chance. And let the guys like Christian Pulisic rest. Don't judge them. Let them rest. Because at the end of the day, soccer is about mentality and your confidence and stuff. If the guy says he doesn't want to play, don't force him to play. Let him take a break off. We're really not losing anything by not having him do a friendly against Turkey and Switzerland. And if he doesn't play the Gold Cup, let me ask you, and you guys can tell me in the comments, do you care if the U.S. loses the Gold Cup? Okay. Do you care if they win it? And when they win it, do you think there's going to be a parade in the city where we burn cars and are dancing on the street? No. No one's going to care. There'll be a blip on the news and they'll say, yeah, it's good. They won it. And you know what the headline will say? They should win it. We expect them to win it. So if they lose it, all they'll say is, they should have won it. We shouldn't lose it. But let's be realistic. Canada's the number one team in the region right now. As much as, people don't want to, maybe we don't know how that happens, but Canada's the number one team in Concacaf right now. The U.S. and Mexico seem to be tied because they're both really inconsistent and don't really have an identity. And all the other teams are like, you roll the dice. Panama could beat us any day of the week if we don't show up, right? And it used to be that the U.S. and Mexico were kind of like the standard in CONCACAF, but now any team can win. So, yeah, let's not be hard on the boys. Let's see how these young guys do in the Gold Cup. Hopefully we win it. I'll be rooting for them. And yeah, but what do you guys think? Do you think they should have made the European guys play in the Gold Cup? Is it that important? And should players be able to opt out of international windows, even if they are friendlies, even if it is the Gold Cup? Or do you think they should care so much that they have to play no matter what? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.